So, welcome to another sacred conversation with myself, Roberta Robbins. And today I have the lovely Ann Marie McKenzie with me as my special guest. And these sacred conversations that I have, I usually have a guest with me. We talk about certain things that have been coming in that either we start to have conversations about, and we're like, we really need to have a conversation and open it up for others that we feel as though may benefit you. And we love doing these lives first. You people in the Cosmic Earth community, the Cosmic Earth Weavers community, you guys get this first, because we're live with you right now. So we love that there is people with us that come in and also ask questions. So feel free to do that. And for those of you that will watch this, maybe on one of my other platforms, whether it's over in YouTube world or with podcasts or over with Anne Marie, where we get to post this. We do hope that you'll comment or let us know what you think or if you have questions. So this lovely human being that's here with me, I'm going to get her to introduce herself to you guys. Anne Marie.
Thanks, Roberta. I just want to express gratitude for having me here and for giving me this opportunity to have a secret conversation with you. Roberta and we've been on each other's radar for a very long time, and it happened exactly when it was meant to. And we've only ever had one other conversation other than this, but we feel like soul sisters, right? Like
Yeah.
there's just so much cosmic alignment. So thank you for this opportunity to connect with you and your community. For those of you who are new to my world, I'm a soulful business strategist and a master numerologist. I have a vision to empower as many people as possible to fulfill their soul contract in this lifetime. I've made it my mission to empower people to align with their purpose, to amplify their gifts, and to activate divine prosperity. Because the more we have, the more we can give, right? And that's what it's all about. I do a lot of things with spiritual entrepreneurs, but today I'm really excited about what we've teed up, what we want to talk about. Do you want to do
Yeah.
that? Do you want to?
Yeah, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
So I love how you said, so everybody knows this is our second, just her and I conversation, and you guys are invited into this. And yes, we've been on each other's radar. We have been moving in places and spaces that are very similar or the same, and with certain people that you're like, oh, I know, and so and so. What is she doing? And I love the fact that I found out she's from Ontario too. And though she lives out west, like how many of you live out west?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, finally, there's someone that is from Ontario like me,
Yeah.
which I always love that. And when it's like, okay, so yeah, we finally had our conversation together a few weeks, gosh, time is flying by, a few weeks ago, and we had a great conversation, and we knew that we shared a lot of the similar thoughts and values and beliefs about certain things, and that, we each have had our trials and tribulations, but there is also a common thread in some of those too. I thought, wow, these are important topics and things that we've gone through in an important way. There's an importantness. Is that even importantness? We'll add that to Roberta's dictionary, as Richard would say. Oh, that's
Importantness.
Roberta's dictionary. Um, it's important to have these conversations because we see this in our business with people that are struggling at times with some of these topics we're going to talk about. And of course, you heard what Anne Marie's mission is: to support, to help you live your purpose, your passion in this life, right? And she has those abilities to clean and clear and get you on the way. And not to mention all the magical things that go in there to help you see what it is very clean and clear. And even that, we have a similarity in what we're doing, helping people. Myself, Amory has a very business strategy part of her arena of thing, her wheelhouse. Mine is, yes, helping people find their way, help them work through their obstacles, the blocks, the healing things that they need to move through, but also for them to see and feel experience what their sacred medicine is, how all these different things weave together. And numerology happens to be one of them. I know astrology, you're dabbling, you got medicine there too, like me. We bring in that in, we're bringing that in, we're bringing in cardiology in, we're bringing so much in our own walk, our own medicine. So today, this conversation is going to be about a few things, but one of our top note is, how do you choose your mentors, your guides, your coaches, your healers to work with wisely, with discernment, with being in your power and what you need, and all the things that weave into that? So we trust with these sacred conversations, they go where they need to, they naturally bloom and flow, and we trust that. Anything you want to add to that
No,
yourself?
that was beautiful. I believe that the one of the reasons that we chose this topic was because it naturally came up in our conversation, but also because 2024 is this universal 8 energy year, and there's this opportunity for all of us to reclaim the power of infinite abundance, and there's deeper devotion and commitment to this work that we're here to do, and we're not meant to do it alone. We're meant to have guides, we're meant to have mentors, teachers, other leaders that have forged paths before us, or who are the rebels that know how to do things completely different and shatter the glass ceilings. And how do we go about finding the right people for where we're at to support that purpose? So it's going to help all of us in 2024, because Dharma alignment was one of the key predictions that I had. So many more people are going to come online with their purpose, and so many more people are going to want to up level. And so it just naturally makes sense that this is one of the things that will support all of us in 2024 by having this conversation. Yeah.
I think even this, coming online, up leveling, there's, what I've been seeing and hearing since summertime is this our new identity. And it's not like we're letting go completely of ourselves, because there's essence and pieces, but almost like, what are we bringing and reclaiming too
Mm.
in a higher, newer frequency? And there is things that we're laying to rest and letting go and grieving and all those things, but there is parts that there's a reclaiming and coming in, and this new identity doesn't even seem to cut it that when I say it that way. It is the up leveling, the ascension. I sometimes do this to certain words that get overused a lot, and that's
Yeah.
one of them, ascension. We are evolving, we are moving, we all are, and we're all at different frequencies, but we are all moving in some way forward, higher frequency, which aligns us more to our purpose,
Mm-hmm.
who we are. And this purpose is, it's who we are, really who we are. And for us to realize that it's not something outside of ourselves. I'm like, oh, there's a purpose. I want to grab that one. I'm like, no, it's us, right? All the medicine we're waking up to, like, I am more than this, and this,
Mm-hmm.
and this. And this is where the energy of that is leading to the heart, through
Mm-hmm.
through the cosmos, to everybody. So the conversation about how do you choose, because yes, like Ann Marie said, we need support. We need to have people to keep us inspired, on track, supported, cheerleaders, whatever we need. Those pieces of medicine. Right now, I'm noticing clients, my new ones that are coming in, they're wanting the thread, the bridge from maybe something, a medicine or a wisdom I have, to help them from where they are. They're like, I got this, but I know I want this. Can you help me with the pieces I'm missing and support me, and to alchemize that? And so we're definitely going to that with the 8 energy year for sure. Now, I think where a great place might be to start for us, as I was listening to you talk, I was like, our journey, our personal journey. Let's talk about our personal journey as maybe receiving us on our journey of reaching out to people, like the coaches, the healers, the teachings, the medicines that we've chosen. how that has been and how we've learned how important it is, but also how it's influenced maybe us as these mentors and teachers and coaches ourselves, and how it's pushed us to be who we are and how we serve. That's a big topic and question, but I'm gonna just pass that right to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things that we discussed earlier that I think it's important to kick off this call with is that both Roberta and I recognized at a very early age that we had psychic abilities, but there was no one for me to talk to about this. There wasn't anybody in my world that understood what I was going through. It was just talked about as Annie's imaginary friend that she hangs out with in the corner of the house. She's just scared of the basement because she's scared of the basement. I'm like, no, there's one of the ghosts lives down there, and it's the not nice one. It's the one that takes shit and hides it from us. But there was nobody to support me, to help me understand the gifts that I had. I'm very clairvoyant, claircognizant, definitely clairsentient. And those were online as an early child, but because I didn't understand them, I definitely stuffed them. I definitely blocked those abilities. And then once I got my license, that gave me this ability to drive to different communities, and I would seek out the bookstores that were the hidden gems in the small towns and the communities that would give me information about magic, or give me information about psychic abilities, or give me information about rituals or casting spells. And so it was books that really supported me from the beginning, but there wasn't any actual people. And it wasn't until recently, like within the last, I would say 5 years, 6 years, that I started doing, oh, actually, maybe longer than that now. I'm like, time is weird right now, right? So I'm like, was it? So, 8 years ago is when I started doing my first metaphysical development, legit training. So to be psychic and not actually have that support until 8 years ago was very challenging for me. And it's also why I know that I didn't come fully online with my soul's purpose until about that time as well.
Yeah.
And have found some really great mentors, and I've also had some awful mentors. And every single time I had a negative experience, I can take responsibility that I didn't listen to my intuition. That's why it was an awful experience, because there were red flags and I did not listen to them because I had a problem and I wanted it solved, and I was not patient about finding the right person. I was more hyper focused on solving the problem than finding the right person to help me solve that problem. And so I definitely have been taken advantage of. I definitely have invested my time and energy and money towards people that didn't deserve it, that didn't have the exact same shared values, that didn't hold the container for the highest good for all, that didn't see it as creating collaborative wealth. They saw it as more an egoic relationship where it's one way. And so I'm grateful for those experiences, because naturally it has taught me to listen to my own intuition and to find the right mentors for me. And because of that, I noticed that there was a quickening for me as well. My awakening has always been kind of the slow and steady experience. And I've noticed a lot of people in my world, theirs has been really quick within, recent times. And so finding those right mentors allowed me to do the kind of skyrocket instead of this like slow burn that I had experienced for decades. You can relate to that, can't you?
Okay, well, I love the I'm actually writing slow burn.
Yeah.
Actually, just like slow burn, I wrote slow down, Roberta. No, slow burn, not down. Um, Yeah, we have like in that what you've shared, I can see, how I some of my stuff has moved in there, and in the sense of, yeah, since I was young, since I was born, birthed here,
Mhm.
I've always been highly aware of spirit realm.
Yeah.
And it felt very normal. Um, and was doing things really young that my mom would be like, "How did you do that?" Or "How did you know that? You couldn't have possibly have known that." Because I would be out traveling, even
Mm.
really, really before I was like walking, and I can remember such and such and such. Like I had this out traveling ability and seeing things, and but I didn't either have any of the support. It was like I was seeing things, noticing things, chatting with things, and all those clairs, you know, um, I'm pretty aligned with probably all of them. We all have that top note, right? That we have like clear seeing and hearing and feeling and just knowing, right? And yeah, not having the adults around me, I wouldn't say I went through closing it down. And then that's a very common thing that happens. Like it almost gets put to a side or closed down for various reasons. Our gifts, something overwhelms us, scares us. We're told by society, family, no, blah, 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 like all those things. So it gets put somewhere.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say that's one of the areas I work with people, helping them to go back and open those areas up. Mine has never been closed down or packaged. You know how we package in the sense that we will come back to it, though we're still aware, and that's what I hear with your story. You're still aware of things. It's just that there was nothing to grow or go anywhere at that moment. And myself, I feel like I was always on my own, looking to, the books, the things, and I probably was always a little bit of the weird spiritual one out of my friends, since elementary school. Um, that would be chatting with spirits or wanting to do seances or rituals or howl at the moon, whatever it was. And so it's always been there. So mine has been this, I don't, that slow, like it's just been there, right? It's been there and growing, growing, growing. And I've never had that, like you said, there's a lot of people that there's been these big, like spiritual, aw- big spiritual awakening, spiritual, sometimes emergencies that open up so quick for them.
Mhm.
For what all the different reasons. This is not good or bad or what, it just is what it is for everybody's journey, right? And
Mhm.
um, and funny enough, I'm in those areas where I'm working with people during for
Mhm.
those things. And I went and did training to be a spiritual director to help with those kind of
Mhm.
things. And my training started, going in to learn more professional, like your psychic abilities and all those things in my 20s. I'm just about 48 in a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
It started definitely adding while I
Yeah.
was doing my other business stuff. Like I was RMT, a registered massage therapist here in Ontario for 20 years, but all doing that career and a counseling career. I was always building my
Mhm.
spiritual life and practice, and it
Mhm.
was just weaving in naturally. Now, have I had people that I've partnered up with and worked with and all that have been bumpy rides? Yes. And they have been great lessons
Yeah.
and lessons of, yes, trusting myself more, and here, like just calling back more power. I think if you grow up not having that support in your life, and I did come from a very unhealthy family background and been on my own since grade eight, the end of grade eight. So a very long time to be on your own and not in a healthy family structure. I think when you grow up, you also, when you don't have the support, you second guess yourself and you have to build that part of yourself up. So when you're partnering and you're hoping and you're wishing and you're all these other things, and you hope that that person that you partner up with or that you go to teach, do a program, you're thinking, okay, I want this piece of the puzzle. I want to enrich, I want to grow, I want to, and then
Mhm.
there's that stuff that happens, right?
Yeah.
The crunchiness. And then the lessons for me is like, how long do I stay where do I get my voice and my power, and how to communicate the no, stand in my own, be okay with that, letting things go, even though it might be hard. Like those have been my crunchy experiences with working with someone, hiring someone, or partnering with someone, or bringing someone even to work with me within things myself, my projects or my retreats.
Yeah.
And it's the voice and the power and
Yeah.
owning it, letting it through, right?
Yeah. One of the things along those lines of what you're speaking about. So I left home when I was really young as well. And so I know now that I have abandonment issues. I think I've healed the majority of it, and I'm in a really healthy relationship now with a partner that understands that. And so we work together to ensure that there isn't a lot of activation portals being opened for me in relation to that abandonment. One of the things that really helped me, I worked for a nonprofit for a while that was mentorship for children. And through that training, when I started it, there was a heavy, heavy, heavy key message that this relationship is going to take place from this time to this time for both the adults and the children. And it was like, ding, 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 ding. This makes sense, because then there's that expectation of this is what the container looks like, and this is when the relationship is going to end. And so there's no guesswork in terms of, well, why don't they want to work with me anymore? Why aren't we friends anymore? Why aren't we hanging out? Why aren't you mentoring me anymore? Because there's this opportunity to say our work together is done. There's also an opportunity for a really great sacred conversation to say, this is what it's been like for me working with you. What has it been like how's it been for you? What are the things that we have shared? What are the things that we have learned together? What are some of the challenges that we've overcome? Are we interested in continuing to do that together? And if not, that's okay, because this was the intention from the get-go. And I wish that it was like that. I wish that that was taught to me when I was younger. I really did. It could have supported me to not feel so much pain and suffering from the ending of mentor relationships. There's some incredible teachers that I've had in my life. And one of the reasons why I still look back on them fondly is because they were a school teacher and I had them for that year. And then you're not going to have them anymore because you're going into grade 9, you're going into high school, you're going to a different building, you're going to have different teachers. Mm-hmm. Makes sense, right?
Oh, it totally does. I think some of my favorite like mentors and what I always thought I was going to be a teacher. And it was because of my teachers through elementary school that were so pivotal and so important to me. But yeah, like I thought, we have these containers. It's the healthy boundaries. It's the it's soothing our nervous system too. So we know, and we know where we are and what's kind of expected, and the opening and the closing of the space.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, when you're saying that having these beautiful conversations, those are 4. And so here's like one of the green flags, red flags. So we want to say, if whoever you're choosing to work with, if they can't have clean, clear communication with you so that you can have, where you stand, where they stand, what's expected, what you're getting. If there's problems that come up, that you can have that communication and respect back and forth. If you can have that, red flag. If you can have it, there's a go, there's the path opening up. The thing is, there's a lot of people through my experience, whether it's been in partnership or hiring, having people in to be supports and things like that for programs, or hiring someone to teach me for something, whatever that, because I've had it in a few different areas and different mirroring. A lot of people aren't able to have those conversations. They're not yet learned the skills and what it
Yeah.
takes, and that it feels a little uncomfortable, and that you have to stand in knowing who you are, your integrity, your power. And I find a lot of people that because I am somebody, let's have a conversation. Let's see where we're at. Let's, not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Either the triggers, the wounding, the something, the feeling attacked, the whatever, all
Mhm.
the things, if you've got to be in your power and they don't know quite how to do that, or they're not sure about themselves,
Yeah.
it comes off not in a healthy way, right?
Mhm.
So when you're choosing someone, if they can have those open, great, clear communications, be, I love people working with people that are compassionate, down to earth. They know that there may be some challenges, but they always say, I have an open door concept of, if there's something, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right away,
Mhm.
too. So it doesn't pester or build into whatever. Like, I love the grounded human being that can have those communications, but that you understand and respect. If someone's like in a teaching position, a mentoring, and coaching, that's their role to you, but they have respect for you as the human being too, not tiered. If there's a lot of tiered powering, tripping, pulling, that's another red flag. Green flag for me is that respect and that exchange. But you both have medicine, you're both wonderful, but you may have chosen and put money and expense and time towards that person because you value, they have something like, okay, I need that. I'm seeing that you really own your medicine and you are weaving it. That's the other thing, that you
Yeah.
see and feel them weaving it through themselves, not just as they're speaking to you on, especially online,
Mhm.
that you feel that it really goes through and it's going through in their other parts of their lives. And if you
Yeah.
see them in live, like
Yeah.
real time, you can feel that in their actions and their energy. And
Mhm.
for me, it needs to be a ripple out. And so that's a green flag.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, they embody
Yeah.
that. They embody. But if I'm
Yeah.
only seeing it in, or if there's something,
Mhm.
I don't know,
Mhm.
then there's a little red or amber flag that
Yeah.
start to come
Yeah.
up. So those are when I'm choosing and looking myself because
Mhm.
of my experience. And I have those rejection, abandonment, um,
Mhm.
not being wanted, not being like all those
Yeah.
things, especially through childhood, that has led up. And I still see them in some ways playing out with certain things, but my response and how I deal with them and what I see, what's mine
Yeah.
and what isn't mine, what is theirs. It's the wisdom we walk and understanding ourselves that helps us choose.
Mhm. There's a couple things that you said that I want to touch on and amplify. I've made those mistakes as well, where I've made assumptions that because I'm a really great communicator that they're going to be as well. I've made assumptions that because I've expressed my values that they have the same values, and that's not necessarily the case. And I take a different approach now in the sense that I speak my truth and I clearly articulate, this is what I want from you. Are you the person for me? Where I didn't do that before. I gave my power away. I was approaching the mentorship, putting them on a pedestal rather than approaching it as a collaborative relationship. And now that I'm old and smart and wise and, got all the things going on, now that I'm kind of a big deal, I get it that it's a collaborative relationship. It's a partnership that you're creating. And I love that you touched on identifying that, yes, I'm seeking guidance, mentorship, teaching, but I want to see that you walk that path. So, whatever it is that you're putting out there, whatever it is that you're claiming that you can do, I want to see that you do that. In my community, they know I talk about being on the mountain all the time because what stops a lot of people from being seen and heard, they don't realize that you don't need to be on the top of the mountain. Sometimes you just need to be at the base of the mountain, and your message is, hey, I figured some things out. I found the base of the mountain. And people are like, what? There's a mountain? Yeah. Here's the directions. Come. And as they're coming to the mountain, You have other teachers and mentors and guides to help you move up the mountain a little bit. And then you're like, hey, I've moved up the mountain. They're like, I found it. I'm at the base. And you're like, cool. And you extend that hand. I want you to know what it is that I know. And I have some incredible people that have moved farther up the mountain than me, and they're going to keep teaching you, and we're going to do this together. How does that feel? And so I'm a firm believer in conscious contracts. My VA and I had a good chuckle when we started working together, because she's one of my near and dear friends. We used to work together within another organization for 8 years. And I said, I don't want to lose our friendship. So what are we going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen? And we decided to come up with a conscious contract, and we laughed after, because her sister's a lawyer, and we're both like, this would not hold up in court. You know, that if anything, the judge and the lawyers would be like, who made this? Did you guys just open up Canva or a Google Doc and just started rhyming things off? Yeah, that's what we did. But we were on the same page. We understood, these are my values, these are your values. This is how I want to feel when I go to work. This is how you want to feel when you go to work. How are we going to support each other to do that? And it's okay to do that in mentoring relationships as well, when you're hiring somebody, and especially when you're paying them a lot of money. The number one reason why I have people apply to my program, Conscious Business Immersion, is so we can have that conversation. I can easily put the button there, purchase now. People hear me on a podcast, they look at that landing page, and I guarantee that people would buy without even meeting me. But I ask them to apply, and it's so I can have these conversations with them. What are you looking for in a mentor? Tell me, what do you need from me? You don't have clarity, you're in chaos. What's the clarity that you're seeking? And I tell them that from the beginning of the conversation. The application isn't so, and as I'm saying this, it's December 22nd, 12:22 where I am. So we've got 5 2s on a 5 energy day. We're talking about partnerships, community collaborations. That's amazing. But I tell them, this is an opportunity for us to get to know each other and make sure that we're on the same page. This isn't for me to say, no, you're not, you're rejected, you're not in. But this is for us to make sure that we are a good fit for each other, that I can provide for you what it is that you're seeking. I am not somebody that will sell another person something if it's not what they need. I said, so if this is something that you don't need, I'm going to tell you. Or if this is something that you're not ready for, I want you to know that I'm going to tell you. But I will work with you within this call to support you to solve this problem. I will point you to another resource that maybe I have. And if I don't have it, I'm extremely resourceful. I have a huge community. I will point you in the direction of where you should go. I will give you several opportunities. And I do that because I wish that people would have done that for me. I have invested a lot of money in my business, and sometimes it was not the right fit for where I was at the time.
Yeah.
Facebook ads is one of them. If you're not making 6 figures, just stop. Just stop. Just stop even considering it. There's other ways to grow organically that doesn't take a ton of time and energy and effort, and doesn't give your money to somebody that you probably don't want to give your money to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I love all of that, because here's the thing is that, I think things are changing over, and we're coming out of a more masculine approach, fear being
Yeah.
fearful, trying to, the competition, all those things that are there. And if you, at least for me, but it's like, if I can't see that someone's willing to redirect me to someone else, if it's not a good fit, that they're not trying to sell me and tell me all those, like, well, I'm going to do this for you, and I blah blah, like that right away. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, we don't know that yet. And if people aren't right, like raising up, is that the
Yeah.
right, raising up other individuals,
Mm-hmm.
if I see that there's that, not that, and there's more of a knocking down,
Yeah.
or I am the way,
Yeah.
those are my red flags.
Yeah.
The big ones. And I've been in partnerships and things where, it has become a, power tripping and a control and manipulation, those kind of things, and seeing things being knocking down. And what I always like to have the conversations. So this is what I'm noticing. This is how I'm feeling. Making sure I'm not, that calling things out.
Yeah.
And what can we do? Is this what's going on?
Mhm.
Um, and can someone step in and take responsibility if you mess up too? Or if,
Yeah.
that wasn't the most line, they might be working through something. If I can see people also willing to grow, to get
Mhm.
feedback, to redirect people to other resources, all of those things, those are red, or those are the green flags, right? Like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like you even more just as a human being.
Mhm.
I can see your values of what's important here.
Mhm.
And they're lining up. So are whoever I'm choosing, are they really truly lining up, embodying some of my core
Yeah.
values, which is integrity is probably top one for me.
Number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
self-responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, we're growing, we're learning how to, like, it's not to say that we're looking for the perfect person, because we're not the perfect person, who wants to be perfect, but there is this awareness of,
Mhm.
oh, that's off. I want this. I want to be better. I need to shift or learn or do something here.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
wasn't for my best self, my best frequency, and also therefore than others if I'm supporting, helping, friendships, all those things. So, do they
Mhm.
have compassion, communication, healthy boundaries, clear, obviously integrity, spiritual integrity, soul integrity, self-responsibility? I want to see certain things there,
Mhm.
but we got to see it move out. So sometimes we trust ourselves,
Mhm.
and then we step into what happens when we step into something, when we see that we're like, okay, or they're trying, you see some of these things are like, okay, I see the beautiful green flags here. I
Yeah.
step into a commitment, a partnership, a whatever. What have you done if you've come into that either with a client or with some, whatever, and then you're like, oh, I'm in it, but something's not lining up when you're in it.
Mhm.
How do you
Stability.
navigate those things? Because
Mhm.
that happens, and then that's calling even more essence and
Yeah.
power to
Yeah.
ourselves and our voice.
Yeah. Well, having a strong foundation in our life and in our business is first and foremost. And this is what I support everybody to do, again, to understand what values are you here to embody and how do you want to feel. That's strength training or intuition. So that supports us to get clear on our own energy and the frequencies that we are vibrating with. And so it's easier for us to see resonance, feel resonance, hear resonance. If you don't have that, that's when you get screwed over. If you don't have that, that's when mistakes are made. That's when people manipulate you, take advantage of you. And it happens in the spiritual community. I wish it didn't, but it does, because we think it's the spiritual community, so I can trust everybody. And unfortunately, that's not the case. Unfortunately, there are many people with super fat, big egos in the spiritual community. There are many people that do not operate in integrity. There are many people that they do not walk their talk. They're not even on the mountain. And they're like, hey, what are you doing? You read a book and now you're showing up trying to be the expert. I see you. Claircognizance is my number one. I've been a bullshit detector since I was very young. I know that this is bullshit. What are you doing? I didn't always listen to it before, but I definitely do now. So there's some times where I'm a firm believer that we say something for three reasons. And as long as I have two out of three, then I say it. It's going to make me feel better. It's going to make the other person feel better, or it's going to evoke change. So often, the things that we want to say, it's not going to make the other person feel better. Doesn't matter how compassionate and kind and loving we are, how intentional we are with our words. We can sugarcoat things. with so much. But if we're calling somebody out on something, it's not going to make them feel good. We know that it's going to trigger something or activate something, but will it evoke change? And again, that's an intuitive piece of whether I feel that this person has shown in the past, and you said it before, self-responsibility. Have they shown, do they have a track record of responsibility, of accountability? And if they don't, I just walk away. It's not worth my time, energy, or effort. The people that I work with now, why I work with them is because before I even have to bring up those conversations, they're bringing it up. They're sending out a survey. Hey, can you fill out this feedback form? They're sending me private messages. What do you think about this? How do you feel about that? Is there anything else that I can do? How do you feel as a student, as somebody who's been in this community for a long time? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? So I don't have to be that person that cultivates some power and gets the courage to go speak my truth, because it's a community that's interested in always having these conscious conversations. So I'm very blessed now and fortunate. I'm not saying that I'm not prone anymore to being taken advantage of, maybe. And when it is time, I do speak my truth now, and I do call people out on things. Sometimes I choose to just walk away, and other times I think, well, maybe if I do this and I approach it from a very heart conscious place, it will evoke change. I worked with somebody for years. We're almost going up on a decade. And I had blinders on, 100% had blinders on, had them on a pedestal for a very long time. The first business mentor that I had within this business told me right from the get-go, you're making a huge mistake because you think that you need her and you don't. She needs you. Couldn't see it. Fired him. Got taken advantage of. And I allowed it. I own that. I take responsibility for it. I wanted it. I benefited from it in many ways. So I still saw it as a very reciprocal relationship, but it wasn't reciprocal in the way of win-win collaborative wealth, which once that value came online for me, that's when I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. And when the opportunity presented itself, I thought I was going to barf, because again, it's somebody that they are a big deal. I love them tremendously. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for them. But there was this opportunity to say, thank you, I appreciate this, and to lay out the things that weren't okay in my experience, and to also call my power back to me and say, if we want this to continue, this is what it looks like for me. It's win-win. If I'm going to constantly boast about you and your programs and your services, and I've developed something that's very complementary, maybe we could start doing that for each other. And if not, that's okay. And that gives me this opportunity to decide for myself. Is this something that I want to continue with, or is there new opportunities out there for me to shift my mentorship and to shift the communities that I spend time with? Yeah.
So all these, even with the bumpiness and the situations of choosing going into not the best for various reasons, why I know you and I have both chosen, and we've had those bumpy experiences, they have also been there to definitely empower us and call back our power, and also like know ourselves, what we're standing for and what we're not, and how to have that voice, how to speak and say, this is what I want, this is what I know, in the best ways we can, call out stuff when we need to call out stuff. And like you said, you can be coming from the best place, and sometimes it's not going to feel great for people, even if you're BFFs, like outside of like, work kind of situations, that it's hard sometimes. So watching people, how, for me, how they also take, how they navigate when something comes in.
Mhm.
Um, are they having discernment with it? Are they taking it and examine it? Do they respect me as a person that may be saying something too? Like, she has value. I respect our relationship. I respect her.
Yeah.
So I know she's saying something. It feels uncomfortable. I it's something I have to look at, but I'm gonna go
Yeah.
take my time and I'm gonna look at this too and to watch someone like grow and choose and what they need to navigate and then come back
Mhm.
for conversations. Some of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Even some of my favorite people, and I have a really, I always say this to one of my great friends. I've known her for, oh gosh, over 20 years now. And, I remember one day she said something that I didn't realize the way I was saying or projecting something.
Mhm.
She's like, I know you. I know exactly what you're meaning and that you don't mean blah,
Right.
blah, blah. But when someone doesn't know you, when da, 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 that's how they're reading it. And I went, oh, let
Mhm.
me think about, whoa, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I gotta go in. Let me
Mhm.
just, but having your own personal power to know how to, what is good in there, what you need, right? I love seeing that in people. And then I love someone that there can be that exchange, but
Yeah.
not everybody can do it, right? Um, but these experiences have helped us know
Mhm.
clear, what what we're taking on, what we will not take on.
Mhm.
What, it's they
Mhm.
strengthen us, that's for sure. So when you're having these experiences, if we're talking to also people, not even besides the future choosing of maybe who you're going to work with and stuff like that, and supporting you, especially through this next year. If you are someone here listening that has gone through some of these bumpiness, because that's another person, that's another client that I know I see, I have no doubt that you see and have conversation with, because look at
Yeah.
you and a
Yeah.
conversation. And it's like there's sometimes this healing and this work and this moving
Mhm.
forward from it. Um,
Mhm.
so keep doing that work, right? And look at the gems in it, but also look where you need to take ownership.
Yeah.
What will you do differently,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's many of us have been burnt.
Yeah.
Many of us have been betrayed. And 2023 ushered in that opportunity to heal trust in relationships, again, to amplify your intuition. It's time for us to let go of the shit from the past. It's time for us to work through those wounds. So ask yourself, in order to trust, safety is involved. So, what's it going to take for me to feel safe in this relationship to move forward? And again, how do you want to feel? How do you want them to feel? And what are the values that you embody? And what are your shared values?
Yeah.
I know I hesitated to build my team for years because of a betrayal, because I didn't trust other people. And then I realized this year, I'm not growing and expanding in certain aspects in my business because of something that still happened 7 years ago. And I'm not trusting people. And then I had to go and reflect and literally write down, these were the times that I did listen to my intuition and I didn't let that happen again. I had to look at my power and remind myself of that power. And one of them was, again, it was a spiritual community. So many people that I know knew this person. And yet I would come in and it felt really off, extremely off. And it was confusing because so many other people that I trusted this person, but there were many red flags that were coming off for me. And I remember reaching out to another friend to say, is it okay if we have an open conversation about something that I'm not understanding? Because I am extremely intuitive. I feel like I'm doing an incredible job in terms of like interpreting numerology and the numbers and forecasting. But then when I spend time in this other space, it makes me feel like I know nothing. And it makes me feel like I'm not good at what I'm doing. Can you help me explain that? Is there something that I've missed in our teachings? Is there something that I'm not understanding? Is there something I should be doing differently or I can be doing differently? Because I feel since I've stepped into this work that my connection with my spiritual support team is stronger than ever. And I know that I'm channeling messages, but then now I'm second guessing all of it. So what does that look like? And I'm so fortunate that I was able to have such really open, honest, compassionate, kind, caring conversations. It's not about speaking ill of another person or speaking negatively, but it was an empowered conversation of, you are a badass, you are highly intuitive, you are extremely skilled. There is nothing, there's always something more for me to learn, but you have everything that you need now. And so listen, trust, and believe. And so I was like, okay. And I did that. And then finally watched other people come online to what I had felt as well. And not that I wanted that experience for other people, but it really, it makes me smile because I'm like, yes, the awakening, there's more, the quickening is happening where the intuition is coming, has been online, and it's now deepening and it's now expanding and growing for so many people. And so we get to, again, keep having these conversations. Oh, yes, there's negative things that have happened. We've been betrayed. There's people that, we thought we could trust, but we can't trust. But let's bring this into an empowered state and look at the green flags instead of coming into it from approaching it from the energetics of fear. How can we approach it from the energetics of love? And know that there are many incredibly trustworthy spiritual teachers out there that have integrity, that authenticity and honesty is also their top priorities, that they believe in collaborative wealth, that want to show up and watch you up level and rise, even if it means they become bigger and better than who you are. I love that. That is always my goal with everybody that I work with. I want you to turn around and be like a multi-millionaire. That would be absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I don't want to ever hold anybody back. They exist. And so once we're able to heal those not so great relationships and really take the lessons, use it as opportunities for growth within ourselves, then, believe that there are incredible people out there that want to see you find your purpose, live your purpose, accept your gifts, share your gifts and your medicine, and prosper because of it.
Yeah. People that want to see you do so good and that will encourage you and highlight all your medicine and all your gifts, not try to slide them to the side or put them less,
No.
that actually go, ah, do you see? Did you see what you do? Do you see that you have this gift? Do you see that medicine? That's something right there, because sometimes we need those reflections, but we need the people that have reflections that they lovingly give back to you that makes you even more where you are from that moment shine brighter, right? If that sounds corny, shine brighter. No, you literally, right? When we get that true reflection, encouragement that comes back, we're like, oh my gosh, someone sees me. Someone's like letting me know I'm feeling that it's coming into me. I'm trusting it's weaving in me. It is me. Oh, so we're just like, when you get all that and someone that just keeps on doing that and supporting you, like those are the kind of people I want to be hanging out with, mentors, teachers, coaches, and collaborators, and just people in general.
Too.
In
Me too.
general. So as we move forward to this new year that is, what are we, 9 days away, 10 days away, something along those
I know,
lines.
right? I'm like, how is
Um,
this happening?
whatever that is. I loved, first I want to say, I loved how you said, this 2023, and I totally concur to the fact that 2023 was about, all right, let's heal up these pieces that have been a little sticky in there.
Mhm.
Not that we weren't doing healing before, but
Mm,
it's like it felt like I was ready to take my own to the next level of,
mhm.
more of a soul, like, mastery healing to get ready. Not that I was like, "I'm doing this to get ready," but it was like, "Okay, I feel the purpose that I am healing something here. I'm ready to be done." I think you said something like being done with the shit.
Yep.
I love doing little notes here
Yeah.
from some of the stuff. Letting go of the shit from the past,
Yeah.
right?
Let us know in the comments. Are you with us? Are you with us? Like, let us know. I'm done with it. I'm done with this
Right? And
shit.
it's
I'm
like,
done
okay,
with this of
again,
the past.
what do I
Yeah.
need? What else do I need to see and heal
Yeah.
and be open to? And even doing that for myself this year, it has shown me some other things, not that I wasn't aware of them, but other memories and other parts that have woven through to other times of that, say that abandonment, rejection,
Mhm.
all those sticky ones, betrayal, hurt, loss. I saw like other pieces come forward in a lighter way, but just wanted almost like a last recognition, but also just like there's parts of us that will always be there. It's part of us, but
Mhm.
it's almost we become friends and we turn it from the hurt and the pain to the light and the love and the power. So I feel like this year was like turning over the pieces of parts of myself and feeling the thread, of all of them coming through and just allowing, not having to really do any major work anymore. It was just like witnessing more this year, feeling any hurts and pains and allowing almost like a squeezing out, a wringing of some things, of some tears, but
Mhm.
that was okay.
Mhm.
Um, and I keep what I've noticed too, especially in the last few months, is how do I just how do I just keep bringing that love in for those parts? Like, I want something new in there, in me. What
Mhm.
does that feel like now? If I wanna, because when we let go of something and we heal something, it also creates this space, this openness for something else to come in.
Yeah.
So instead of repeating the echo and the pattern of what it was, it's
Mhm.
like been awareness of wanting just to turn it over and fill it up
Mhm.
with more light and love. And I don't talk spiritual bypass and hokey pokey like all light and love
Yeah.
shit. I'm not
Yeah.
one of those individuals. I mean, true, like, what is it for you? What does that feel like and look like? And fill it up.
Mhm.
So 2023 really has, I've seen that. I have felt that because we are getting ready. I think we're already in it. We've already, this.
Yeah.
The last
We've
couple of months,
called it in. We're like, I'm done with 2023.
2023 is, or 2024 is, now we're going to be into like, how are we really building and holding in our mastery of all those parts of ourselves in a different way
Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
much work. And like I
Mhm.
said, everybody's in different stages of everything. This is,
Mhm.
I have no doubt that people that are listening to us that will connect, you guys are in the same field and arena.
Yeah.
This is why you're here. There will be other people that are going through different stages, but we all do that because it doesn't matter where we all are. I mean, it does for our own personal growth, but we're all there to like then help each other move up, move up, right? Um, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The age of Aquarius is helping us with that too, right? Unity,
Mhm.
unity, unity, unity. Even when we are hiring mentors, leaders, teachers, that's one big shift that you can take away probably from our conversation. And Roberta, you can tell me if you agree with this, is that coming into those relationships with that strong understanding that these are partnerships, that these are reciprocal relationships that you are creating, and the right teachers and the right mentors and the right guides, they see that too.
Mhm.
And they will tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's not just expression of gratitude, it's deeper than that, but that's that's number one, is what I see. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for letting us know about your experiences as well. And Roberta and I really mean this. Like, we want to hear from you about your stories, about your experiences and what's important to you and the values that you hold. We want to hear that. And we have gratitude for you to share that, because it's not always easy. It's very vulnerable, especially if that hurt has been very deep.
Yeah.
In 2024, if that comes up again, I want to piggyback on some of the things that you said about healing it. We have to heal it to feel it, right? One of the best questions I have for myself is when I feel that trigger coming, when I feel that hook coming again, I pause and take a deep breath and ask, when have I felt like this before? And I keep asking that over and over again in my heart. When have I felt like this before? When have I felt like this before? And I access all of the experiences that I had in the past that felt that way. And that helps me discern, am I really feeling that in this moment? Is it because of this experience? Or is it because of fear and worry that the same thing is going to happen again? So asking ourselves, when have I felt like this before? And going back into those pockets gives you that opportunity to talk to your higher self or your inner child or your shadow self and say, have I really healed this?
Mm-hmm.
And am I projecting past experiences into this relationship? Or am I coming into this relationship fairly whole and complete with a strong understanding of what it is that I need? And can I clearly articulate that? And then do I feel that that's actually happening? And can I trust my intuition? And if not, if the trust isn't there, what other questions do you need answered? What else is it that will support you to feel safe in this situation? What do you need to have like a full body lean in? Yes. And if it's not there, that's okay. It doesn't mean they're not the right mentor or teacher or guide for you. Maybe it just the timing is off. Maybe there's something else that's a higher priority that you're not seeing or you're not understanding that is wanting to be addressed first before you step into mentorship with that other person. And we're all guilty of this in the spiritual community, right? We're like, maybe another certificate. That's why no one's signing up for my program. I should go get certified in this. And then that's what it's going to take, right? It's not that. Now's the time for you to mash up your modalities and bring it to the world. I'm not saying don't go get certified in something that's been near and dear in your heart. There's always opportunities to learn and continue growing. But what is it that you have already that is wanting to be expressed and wanting to be brought to light to the world? And can you do that while you're still learning and growing?
Yeah, that can I trust my intuition? Can I trust myself? And what do I know that how I will navigate as I step forward different when you do those calling and asking what else is here, what else is here, and seeing a feeling, it's like, and what do I have now? I trust myself. And coming back to like the whole beginning of being individuals that have been highly aware of our intuitive gifts, trusting, hearing, seeing all the different things, and going through those challenges, even of not trusting, of not listening, of second guessing ourselves at different things. It takes you building that relationship with yourself, knowing thyself, right? That's it. Always comes down to like knowing thyself and doing the work, right? And then, yeah, calling in the healthy, the right individuals that are aligned for you. And so we hope that as we are winding down this year of a 7 energy of 2023, we hope and that as you move in, that you feel that you tap into your power, your essence, and let it start weaving through you in that weaving figure eight, with that beautiful tapestry that's you. What's it going to look and feel like? And can you call that back in and forgive? I just heard
Mm.
the forgiveness part very clear. So there was just like a message
Yeah.
that came in and said, and the
Oh,
forgiveness
I
of
feel
self,
it.
of the choices that we have made along the
Mm,
way,
mhm.
and bring the light and the love for ourselves,
Yeah.
that we've done the best that we have been able to do, that there has been growth and learning, and even through the hurt, the pain, the frustrations, the whatever has come up through some other bumpiness through our lives, it has strengthened us and we have navigated through it. And that you have come to conversations like this, that you
Mhm.
have come to be the individual that you are. And no doubt, if you are here, you're someone that is thinking about these things and questioning and going in yourself and doing your work, right? So, but there's that forgiveness. Sometimes we, that extra self love and healing
Mhm.
from it all.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was
I
the little
agree.
spirit input over
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah. I got chills, full body chills when you were saying that. And I also had this vision of there were times where I didn't speak up about my negative experience because I didn't want to speak ill of other people. But then I watched them like lemmings go off the cliff. That's something I've had to forgive myself for as well. Those times that I didn't speak up when I probably should have. And I watched other people suffer and feel the pain that I had felt because I didn't say anything. And it's tough. It's very hard, especially when we want to stay in alignment with our own personal values. What does that look like? How can I how can I bring this up without putting another person down or speaking ill or negative about another person? And so I've had to forgive myself for that as well. And I know many other people that had to forgive themselves for that too.
I'd be one of
Unfortunately.
those. I know one of my biggest last ones that went through my life in the last couple of years. There was this like, what do I do? How do you
Yeah.
find that balance when
Yeah.
through situations like that? And sometimes, I've always been, if anybody reaches out, everybody wants to, I'm open, I'm here to have any conversations. And
Yeah.
I had people reach
Yeah.
out, even like in different timing, is different ways reach out. And I was like, okay, set that intention.
Mm-hmm.
There's always this like not like trying to understand our way with that. What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And sometimes we need to go within, we need to step back out of communities and people
Yeah.
and situations, which I know my last one, I was like, okay, I gotta step out of the energetics because it was nauseating. It
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah.
because we gotta self nurture ourselves too. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a part of the growth, right? And but that healing, forgiveness, and as you were talking, Anne-Marie, I was also thinking, the reasons why we've come into things. I know one that I just recently realized for myself, literally in the last month or so, was I have chosen to go into partnerships or to support someone or to bring someone on to be a retreat doula for me or to bring them into whatever those reasons are, because I'm hoping to help them and to help them on their healing and
Mm-hmm.
all those things. And there's something in that about it's like where you are trying to be a savior or
Right.
we are healers.
Rescuer.
We are healers, so we always want to support and help. But then
Yeah.
it's like there's a part of us when we see it's not being received, when we might stay too long to try to help,
Mm-hmm.
or and that's like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
I have to leave, like I have to let go because it's
Yeah. Yeah.
not working. So we have these little pieces of ourselves for our choices and our experiences, and we get these little aha that was hidden a little part of
Yeah.
it. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I need to look at that
Mm-hmm.
about myself and also heal, forgive, and be
Mhm.
aware of that and how I might shift that one over too.
Yeah. I think
Turn
you're
it.
speaking of codependent relationships versus interdependent relationships.
Mm.
And this speaks to so many of us in your community because we're the empaths, we're the highly sensitives, we're the psychics. And so many of us grew up in codependent relationships with parents or with other mentors, or when we get into romantic relationships, they end up being codependent. And now we're in this space of being of service to others. And we're trying to figure out how to do so in ways that aren't codependent, that are interdependent. And so I'm glad that you brought that up. And I feel it goes back to creating reciprocal relationships. It's like if we look at this relationship and it's a bank account, are we both making deposits into that bank account? Are we both contributing and we're both taking away? So it's, again, it's a container. It's a sacred container that the two of you get to create, and making those shifts. It's tough because especially when somebody doesn't see what you see, when somebody doesn't believe in themselves like you believe in themselves. I've been in that before as well. And that's being part of my growth edge as a soulful business strategist, is really calling in the people that are ready. So that way, energetically, it's not draining to me. It's contributing to filling up my cup rather than taking from it. Yeah. We could talk all day.
We
This
could.
is
And so we're at the top of our hour now. And I appreciate those that have popped in and popped out. And we have this beautiful conversation, and it will be shared in other spaces, and that you can easily get to it at different points for yourself, because I do think there's a lot of wisdom and value here. But mainly, I think there's a lot of us that have been through things like Anne Marie and I have. And even just hearing other people, just hearing us talk, if you want to reach out and chat with us, or you get to see a little bit more. I think this also shows, we've not been perfect. We've gone through bumpy ass shit in our relationship, with
Yeah.
our partnerships, with our, clients, with different things. And it's coming as you can own it and see it and talk about it. Cause I think this heals, we help each other heal. We help each other be here together at this, not here, and all the other stuff. Like, we are together. We all are we're doing our best, and we can share the wisdom with each other freely, freely this way too, right? How can we also, and we know that we can trust ourselves, and then we can make those healthy, wise decisions, how to discern what we need, who we want to be in contract with, um, and what that might look like. And then that's as important to have those conversations and think about that when you're choosing going forward. So thank you guys, everybody that has joined us and will join us. Thank you, Anne Marie. I'm sure there'll be other sacred conversations with you.
Yeah.
I no doubt. And I will be adding Anne Marie and my info to anything that I add differently outside of our community. But Anne Marie, how would people best reach out and connect with you?
My website that's about to launch, that's brand new. It's not quite done yet, but I'm just going to trust that it will be when anybody clicks on the link, annmariemckenzie.com. I own all the domains of my misspelled name. So if you misspell it, it should still go to my website. I'm smart like that. I do love hanging out. I have a Facebook group called the Conscious Business Leaders Group. So you're welcome to join there. I do lots of Instagram stories. I haven't been hanging out on my Instagram page as much. I'm working on that relationship, but Ann Marie McKenzie 13 is how you can find me on all my socials. And you do have to spell that one correctly. I'm Ann without an E, and I'm a Mick, not a Mac.
I'm a Mick, not a Mac. You can
Yeah.
make a little, like, probably song out of that. It could
Probably.
be a jingle.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And for those that, like I said, that have been here, as we've been looking down at who's in the community, the Cosmic Earth Weavers community is my free community. It's a private community though on Facebook. Anne Marie is in there, a lot of other beautiful, wonderful people that come in and share their medicine. The point of it is that we have a space to see each other, to be of service. We get to know each other without sale tactics and pressure,
Mhm.
like really just like being human and coming in
Mhm.
and being of service in some way. And also a safe place that you can ask questions, or if you've just done some kind of training, but you're starting to practice something, say numerology, it's a
Yeah.
safe place for you to come in and work with that so that you can build your skills, have people that understand and that will support you, whether it's, I mean, I have a lot of different people in there, numerology, astrology, tarot,
Mhm.
shamanic practitioners, healers, like it's that beautiful basket and community. So I always add that link to my stuff in case you guys aren't in the community. You can come on over there. And of course, I'm robertarobbins.com, and that's Robbins with two B's in my last name, which I have to say to some people. So we would love to hear from you, whether it's in here, commenting, wherever you see this. It has been great to have this conversation with you, Anne Marie. And we would also love to hear if there's other areas or things that popped up, like maybe other topics or conversations that can be had for the future.
Mhm.
So,
And if you have had a really great mentor, teacher, guide, post it in the comments, brag about them. Word
yes,
of mouth is still number one in business,
it
still.
it still
Yeah.
is.
So
Yeah,
share. Yeah.
yeah. Love that. Thanks for adding that in. All
I
right.
love it.
Well, enjoy your guys' holidays and enjoy your time out and about. And we will all connect in whether places and spaces that we will find each other again, but knowing that we're always beautifully connected, always. So until then, thanks for joining us and have a beautiful holiday season. Bye, guys.